So being in a tough club all the time.
Tough club.
Right?
Trim
Precedent.
and fit club.
Trim
not
and
fat,
fit, not
tough.
fat. Don't
Tough
y'all
club.
say it's tough.
Get it
right?
together,
Yeah,
guys.
trim and fit. So we're all trim and fit here. But that was, I think, probably the first time as a kid when I felt so inadequate. I felt so out of place.
Yeah, no.
Because I was,
Completely.
and I wasn't just like chubby, I was like fat. Yeah, I was like 111 kg when I was 9 years old. That kind of big.
Ever felt like you are not good enough? Or looked at someone and said, I wish I was more like them? In this episode, we explore how you can hack your brain to change into who you want to be. Hi, my name is Kai Wen and you're listening to Headstart On Record. I'm definitely not a psychologist, but if you love a conversation about human behavior like I do, I think you're in the right place. And joining me today is local theatre Andrew Marko. Yeah, he's the one stroking the side duck now.
We're all
That's his
confused.
emotional animal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Psyduck and I, we relate a lot on so many levels, and just being confused about the world and about everything.
Anyways, so today's topic is basically inspired by somebody that I grew liking watching on TikTok. So it was in the Winter Olympics. I don't know if you know her, Eileen Gu.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right.
Yes.
And I think she said something that really stuck in my mind. So she said something about neuroplasticity, but she most importantly said you can control how you think, and therefore you can control who you are. And so that's the inspiration for today's episode, which is hacking your brain.
Hacking your brain.
And I thought that, the one who hacked his brain every time to change who he is,
That's right.
that's definitely Andrew Marko, our legendary actor.
Yeah.
Can I call you a legend?
Well, I'll accept it. I'm still learning how to accept compliments and stuff. So
Okay.
Thank you.
The kids call it glazing.
glazing.
Yeah, glazing. That's
Is
what they
that
call
it?
it.
Wow, glazing.
That's
All
what
right.
they call it.
Well,
You're such a
glaze me
glazer.
up.
Yeah, so I thought that, Andrew is going to be a nice guest to have because you are somebody who really thinks about how a character can be changed, how a character can be molded. And I think there's a common, should I say, misconception about acting.
Yeah.
So people think that, for actors, usually it's very simple, right? We can just go on the stage and then you just look good with the chiseled jaw, just say a few lines, look handsome.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
That's
for
how
some
you-
people, it works really well like that. For some, what I did, to be honest, the whole acting world, it's a very superficial one. It is very,
True.
it's very surface
True.
level.
True.
So if you look good, if people look at you and immediately go like, wow, you know what I mean? Then you've already got an edge. Then you really don't have to do much, to be honest. Like all you handsome actors out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just walk on stage and you go,
We're not dropping names, by the way.
We're not
names
dropping
drop.
names.
No names drop.
but I'm saying, like,
the
you walk
vibes,
on
just the
screen and
vibes.
you're like, and then everyone goes like, wow, I am handsome, man. And that's all you got to do. So for the rest of us,
Common people.
for the common people,
Common looks.
yeah. The story, of course, all of us actors are storytellers.
Yeah,
But I think the heart of acting is always the truth of the story, right? And the truth of the
Completely.
character and what you're trying to convey. And very often it goes deep.
So my point for acting is that sometimes when I look at actors and the best actors that I truly respect
Yeah.
and the characters that I connect with, I know that those actors are intentionally altering their cognitive and emotional processes.
Yes.
And it is to shift their reality, which means they're not just going on stage to act and be fake.
Yes.
They really believe what they see on stage and they react to what they see and hear on stage.
Yes,
Right. And
that's
I
right.
think that's something that people should know
Yeah.
about acting because I feel like not many people know about that.
Yes. I mean,
Completely.
definitely. A lot of people don't realize that. Like they think acting is just like saying a bunch of lines. But yes, there's a lot of methodologies of acting which go into the stimuli, right? The stimulus that gets you into that mode. So some theories call for an external stimulus. Some call for an internal ones.
I've always wondered, I've not acted much and I'm sure you can have more insights on this, but how do you get into a character? Because that character is not you.
Well, I think, but first of all, for me, my true belief is that all of us human beings,
Right.
internally, we're the same on so many different levels. There's so many crossovers for all of us human beings. That shared experience of life and death that connects us in so many ways. That's the internal side, right? Then the external side, all these little things that make you you. These are things that can be studied. These are things that can be drawn from. Because essentially, who you are, like if I asked you, Kai Wen,
Yeah.
who is Kai Wen? You know, it's tough to answer that. But at the same time, if you really sit down and trace everything you know about yourself, you can trace it back to a single point, right? Maybe you learned this behavior from something when you were young in your formative years. You felt something, or you're gonna trace everything to something you've learned before. So all these little bubbles that make you who you are, you can definitely shift it around, right? The base still remains the same. As human beings, we are all just, whatever the pain, the agony of being alive, blah, 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 the existential questions that you ask yourself, that's all the same. But then those external things, you can, as an actor, our job is to find all these little tiny bubbles that make a character, and then try to pull all those bubbles into our reality so that we can say, yes, I am still me. I'm still Andrew Marko as an actor playing this character. But for this moment, this character has these little bubbles about their experience and about their life.
What you just said is interesting. I think that it relates very much to today's topic, where we as human beings, even though we're all different, characters can be different, our lived experiences can be very different, we do come together where we have common pains, we have common love, we have common experiences with our parents, with our friends, we can all relate to, right? And that is really the crux of today's topic, because we are going to get a little bit more vulnerable. Sometimes after work, after talks with friends, I do feel like, I'm not good enough, right? There's always somebody that I want to be. And I think this is a concept of something I learned from drama as well, which is called the inner critic. I think at times we do feel like, it's getting me down. But the basis of the episode is to be able to embrace your inner critic. Think about what is making you feel not enough and working on it. Right? Because it's within our control. How we feel is within our control. How we think is within our control. Right? And the first step to that first is to understand what you feel is inadequate about you. And so, Andrew, are there moments in your life where you feel like you were inadequate? And what is it about you that you wanted to change?
So many times in my life, I feel inadequate, almost on a daily basis, to be completely honest with you. And I think a lot of actors struggle with that. A lot of actors go through that kind of insecurity and self-doubt very often. But I always think that that's not a bad thing. I think to have that inner critic constantly going at your head,
definitely,
it's okay. And very often, for people who are not actors, you're not used to that critic constantly telling you that you're not good enough. As actors, we have to deal with it all the time. We're being examined and observed and whatever.
So many pairs of eyes on you.
Exactly. So, and so many different perceptions and ideas and opinions about us all the time. So we're very used to it. Very used to the rejection, the doubt. It takes some time to get used to it, but eventually you do. And I think most people do eventually at some point get very used to that voice telling you that you're not good enough. But the thing is, I don't think we will ever be good enough. There will never come a point in our lives where we say, all right, I am exactly who I want to be and I am done growing as a person and I am done experiencing new things. I'm done. You don't, unless you are like dead. I think maybe like if you're very, very happily on your deathbed and you're like, that's the acceptance kind of thing, sure. But if you're alive, being alive and living, part of it is the self-doubt. It's navigating all that negativity and then rising above it.
Is there a particular moment, maybe in your acting career, in your schooling life, where you felt you were at your kind of lowest at that point of time? And what was going on then? Walk me through it.
So many. It's okay. I think the first time was probably as a kid, because I grew up a pretty obese kid. And if you think I'm big now, like, oh man, before it was massive, right? So being in a tough club all the time.
Tough club,
right?
Trim and fit club,
trim
not
and
fat,
fit, not
tough.
Fat. Don't y'all say it's tough.
Get it together, guys.
Trim and fit. So we're all trim and fit here. But that was, I think, probably the first time as a kid when I felt so inadequate. But I felt so out of place. Because I was
completely.
And it wasn't just like chubby, I was like fat. Yeah, I was like 111 kg when I was 9 years old. That kind of big. I'm talking about that kind of big.
Okay.
So I was so out of place, and I felt like there was something that's just not human about me. You know what I mean? I was made to feel
Oh, you
like
felt that way.
yeah, I felt so alienated that I felt like, oh, I can't possibly ever fit in with everyone else.
Was it because of your reactions from your friends, or
Yeah,
like,
no,
where
it
did
was
it come
just
from?
the way that I was treated, you know, because I
see.
was so much bigger than okay, and a classic example, right? Boys' school bullying. So people would throw things at
Bullying.
me.
Yep.
And then if I don't react to them throwing things at me, people say, oh, of course, he cannot feel it. He's so fat. I threw things at him, he cannot feel it. So then I'll be like, oh. But if I do react to it,
These
then,
bullies.
when I do react to it, then they will be like, wow, he's so fast, still can feel it. Wow, he threw some more, wow, can feel it. He can feel it. So, you know what I mean? Like so as a little kid, that really has a huge impact on you.
Yeah.
So that I think that was probably the first time. And of course, you know, many moments in my life since then, including COVID. I think COVID, everyone kind of went through like this mass hysteria. So COVID was definitely one of those times where I questioned everything about myself.
What exactly do you question?
Like, what am I doing? Like, as an actor, what am I doing? Why am I creating art? Why am I trying to make people laugh? Nothing is funny. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just
It was a self-identity crisis kind of thing.
huge part of that. Yeah.
Right. So actually, very interesting with your bullying experience. Exactly the same for me.
Yeah, right?
And so, okay, I felt like mine took a different turn. So, okay, same. I was in Tough Club in primary school. I was not 100 plus kg, but I was quite close. I was like maybe 80.
Okay.
Yeah, you are like the boss level. I'm like the middle boss,
I'm
you know.
president.
Yeah, president, yes. I'm the vice president. Vice president of Tough Club. So, I mean, to me, I was also bullied a lot.
Yeah.
And the way I reacted, I think, was very different from yours. So, I went in the other direction where I started to feel like I need to please the people that are bullying me. I know it's crazy. Nobody should do that.
Nobody should do that.
If you're watching and are being bullied, don't do that.
Don't
but
do that.
but that's how I reacted, and that was my defense mechanism, which is interesting, right? So people pleasing is something that I struggle with a lot. And it has carried on through my entire life, affecting literally every single decision that I do. Because the need for validation, the need to feel belong, the need to feel not alienated.
Yep.
You understand that, right?
I understand that 100%.
So I try to fit in so much that I realized only at the later part of my life that it's crazy because I'm burning both ends of the candle. And it's really at the expense of me. So that's when I start to feel something needs to change. Yeah. And so just to talk about the topic, so something needs to change. At that point of time, I felt like I cannot be a people pleaser anymore. This is something that I am now, but moving forward, I need to take charge of my own decisions. Whatever decisions I make must be authentically me. And so that's why this topic is something that I thought about a long time ago, and I struggled to vocalize it, verbalize it with anybody. So thank you for being here to do it with me.
Most welcome.
And so this theory is called act as if.
Act as if, yep.
Right? And what better way to hear it from an actor himself, right? So act as if theory requires us to act like the ideal version of ourselves, even though we're not there yet, right? And so the mind and body works together. It has to come together in tandem to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so it's inspired by a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, which I gave Andrew as homework. And he has read it. He has read it. Maltz. You got it.
Maxwell Maltz.
Yeah, you got it. So this theory encompasses 3 steps, right? And bear with me. I think I will explain it and then we will talk about it also. So the first step is to really understand yourself. So understand who you are. And Maxwell calls this the self-image, which is technically a blueprint of who you are. And because of that, how you portray yourself to the world. Example, if let's say you are somebody who sees yourself as a failure. I cannot do anything, for sure I will fail at everything. Whatever opportunities that come your way, whatever decisions that you make will end up being a failure. And that is because of the self-image blueprint that you already have. So that is your conception of yourself. So you have to understand what are the things that make you who you are and which part you want to change first and foremost. And the next part is to visualize your success, which means, for example, if you want to be somebody who's more confident, you have to start acting like the confident person that you are. And hopefully, using actionable steps and small steps, you can technically move in that direction. And finally, you have to reflect and see what are the areas that you can do more. You know, now I want to be confident. Can I sign up for a TED Talk workshop? Can I go there and give a talk about anything, right? How to not be in Tough Club, how to slim down in primary school. Sure. And to reflect and to constantly tweak things, which I think you are very familiar with, is something that I term the infinite feedback loop. And so I just want to ask Andrew, You are many things. You are actor, you are musician. I saw your music days, and I saw you singing on one of the shows for Wild Rice. But who is Andrew? And what is your self-image like? And really, I want to know, like, beyond all that, who is the real you?
Who is Andrew? I would like to know as well. To be honest, like I think I struggled with that for so long, and I'm still trying to find the answers to the whole thing. But I can say for sure, right now, I think I'm a storyteller.
Ooh,
I think that's what I've
You are
come
a
to. Yeah, I
storyteller.
want to tell stories. I like telling stories, and I
Nice.
like making people see things, see perspectives, and see angles and things that they've never experienced before.
Okay, so the big part of act as if, right, is a big part of visualization as well. And visualization can come as goal setting. It can come as manifesting. Some people call it manifesting, right? So just to bring back the example of being a people pleaser. And I think when I was a people pleaser at that point of time, I really, really wanted to break out of it because it started to feel like it was affecting me in many decisions, right? I decided one day, okay, I'm going to be someone more assertive. I'm going to be more authentic to myself. So I prioritize my own needs because I have been asking people to validate me, and that validation has driven my compass in life, right? And so I try to make it actionable. I try to say, okay, before I physically make a decision, I ask myself, is it me pandering to someone else, or is it me making a decision that I want to make, right? So I would like to ask you, what is your version or vision of success, and what do you see as the best version of Andrew Marko?
I think the true measure of success is, have I gone through the day affecting everyone in a positive way? Or have I been kind today? Have I been kind to myself, and have I been kind to the people around me? Have I spread light into the world, or have I taken
nice.
some of it away? And of course every day is a different situation, right? We're all human beings. We can't all just be loving light creatures all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just about accepting the failures as well, and I think so that for me is a very small goal. Just being kind and establishing good
Being
proper
that
connections.
light
Being that
in
light.
people's life.
Yeah.
Whatever form that might take.
In whatever form, whether it's like a business work interaction or like a personal friendship interaction, it's just about how, like, have you been nice? Like as if Santa Claus is constantly watching you. And I think that as well. Sorry, just saying a bit more about the people pleasing part, right?
Yes.
Of course, we always want to please people. I think that will always be a thing for us, because as a human being, you don't want to be a people non-pleaser. What is the opposite of a people pleaser?
Pissing people off.
A people pisser. You don't want to be. You don't want to either be a people pleaser or a people pisser. You know what I mean? You want to find a nice middle ground. You got to reject both sides, I think.
That's true. That's true.
But then when you try to be assertive and, like, I don't know, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like a selfish decision. A lot of ways, a lot of the decisions that we make are always selfish decisions.
That's true.
There is always everything that we do is always in some sense in servitude to ourselves.
Right.
Right. And it just so happens that people pleasers also want to please other people. I think the line is crossed when you are pleasing someone else and then
it affects
pissing yourself off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't want to be a
balance.
people pleaser to someone else and a people pisser to yourself.
So that's
That
also
makes sense.
somebody that you want to be, right?
Yeah,
Like you want to be able to draw that line
Yes.
and walk that line.
Exactly.
To be somebody who's true to yourself, but at the same time, you respect the feelings of others.
Yes, 100%. And in order to do that, you need to first, I think, know yourself. You need to go internal, and you need to understand you. And then, it takes time. It always takes time and a lot of self-reflection, I guess.
Were there any steps that you intentionally took, or it was just like a mind frame that you had? You just move forward.
Yeah, it's just a mind frame that I
see.
had. I don't think I ever had like steps. I don't
Right,
think I
right,
ever
right.
took steps of
Right,
anything in
right,
my life.
right.
I'm a very lazy, passive person by
Right.
nature. So it's very difficult for me to set goals like that.
No,
like
for sure.
I'm always just do it, and we'll just see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
I'm on a weight loss journey right now.
Oh.
And I can tell you, I don't have a goal.
Please tell us about your journey, man.
Yeah, so
Weight loss again.
Yeah,
We're
again,
talking about it.
again, right? It always comes back to that. So last year in August, I weighed myself for the first time in a very, very long time. And I was heartbroken to see that it was 136 kilos. And I was like, oh, and I was like, what? No, it can't be. But then I decided, you know what? Again, I'm going to try for this weight loss thing. And I've been on many different weight loss journeys in my life. But I was like, I'm just going to try.
Right.
And this time, the difference is that I didn't go in with a goal. I didn't go in with like okay, I'm going to do this every week. And then after like 2 months, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I literally, I was so tired of that because I've done that so many times in my life. So many times I have had plans and goals and everything. But this time I was just so tired of goals. I'm so tired of that war going on in my head of like, oh, I'm good if I exercise, I'm bad if I eat, whatever, that kind of that push and pull. And I just said, I'm just going to just exercise and cut my calories just because I'm the type of guy that exercises and cuts his calories. I don't need a reason for it, and I don't need to think about what I'm going to do next week. I just do it today. And then tomorrow becomes today, and the day after that also becomes today, and eventually that's how consistency works. And now I've lost so I'm today, this morning I weighed in 104
Congratulations.
kilos. So it's that easy. The consistency is that easy. You don't need a reason to be anything.
Yeah, and I feel like even though you claim that you don't have specific steps, I feel that you do because your step itself is already, I need to make it sustainable. It cannot be too far-fetched, right? And it must be something that also at the same time I'm able to follow through every day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Even though it might be small, just cut carbs. I go order chicken rice, for example, I just ask for less rice, more meat. Something like that.
Yeah.
And even though it's not actionable, it's not a specific step to you, I still feel like you're taking a step out. And you're still making progress. You're still telling yourself, okay, maybe I'm just gonna do this and then see how it works out, which is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And that works for different people, right?
Yeah.
And something interesting that you mentioned also, because you said this is the fat loss journey, which I also went through back when I was younger. Yeah, it's physical, right? And whatever we talked about with being a people pleaser, having trauma in our childhood, that's mental. And the truth is, we are physical and mental, and we can work towards both of those goals separately as well. Yeah. And so my question to you just now was, what was the best version of you? I really like your answer about you saying that you wanted to bring light to the world, right? And there's such a huge airy fairy. It's like, I want to be an angel,
right? Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. Of course, he wants to spread light into the world.
So how?
How to spread light? Just don't be a douchebag. Don't be an ass. Oh, I can't say that.
Oh, you can say that. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Don't be an asshole. Don't be mean. I think so. Now this is not. I'm not telling anyone how to be a better human being, but I think
of course not. Yeah.
If we all held on a little less tightly onto our opinions and judgments,
right,
I think we would all be such kind of human beings.
Be more understanding when you're talking to someone.
And I think be less internally reactive to your initial judgment. When anyone tells you anything and everything, there will always be judgment. Judgment not in the sense that like, oh, you're bad or good, but judgment in the sense that, oh, that is not what I would do, or that is something that I know someone would do. That's just how the brain works, right? Every second of the day, we are always processing things that make us feel more like us and less like other people, right? More like individuals.
So that is definitely one thing that people can do.
Yeah.
I also feel like it can be really tiny, if you're walking by a security guard, a cleaner auntie, somebody who's just going about it, they just say hi, just say thank you. And those are just small steps that we all can take. And I think that's the crux of the topic itself. I'm going to admit it's a bit of a trick question when I ask you, what is the success or what is the most successful version of yourself you see? Because obviously it changes.
Yes.
Obviously it changes, right? And I want to ask you, and you are somebody who has lived through many, many lives, many characters, gone through many experiences. How has your self-discovery journey been?
So being many different characters and being many different people over the years has kind of streamlined me and kind of made me know a lot more about myself and know a lot more about who I am and who I am not because of these different characters. And I think I take a little bit of all the characters with me. You know, like every time I play a character, you give a little bit of yourself, and also you take something back from
Interesting.
the story. Yeah,
Interesting.
because
Tell me
different characters teach you different things. You know,
Is there a specific character you have in mind?
Yeah, well, there's a few. But
Which one is the most?
I guess the most beautiful one for me is the character of Josh, who
Yes.
in Pandemonium's Falling, who has severe autism. I was fortunate enough to do that show twice. I mean, once in 2016 and once in 2024. And it's very rare for an actor to be able to do a show twice like that. You know, like most of the time in Singapore, you do a show once and then it's done forever.
Yeah.
But to be able to do it again was such a wonderful thing, and both times that I did it, I came out of it realizing that at the heart of that entire story, at the heart of that character is love, like just unending love, and that is so much bigger than so much that we know, you know. And I think taking that from Josh. Yeah, I carry it every day.
What kind of love?
Just
do you
the
think?
light, I think, manifests in many different ways. One of the ways is just the lightness in being, the lightness of like the flow state almost, you know, like just going through and being unbothered by the real ugliness of the world and just going like, wow, this table's nice.
Oh, you mean to be in the moment?
Being in the moment, yeah,
to be present, to appreciate.
to be super in the
Right,
moment
right.
and
Okay,
appreciating
okay.
every single moment, and that draws, of course, from the experience of being extremely sensory, as a lot of people on the spectrum are very sensory, and training. Like I remember when I was playing that character, I had to train myself to really focus in on the sensory everything, right? Every moment that I've been just sitting there, the sounds of the aircon, the feel of the table, everything, letting it affect you and strike you.
Ooh,
And in playing that character so much, I took that as well. And nowadays, I catch myself doing that sometimes where I'm just like zoning out. And it's the sensory thing. I'm just listening to everything.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
absorbing.
taking
I'm
it all in,
all
right?
You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going into that quiet, like the feeling of the table, the feeling of your own skin against your own skin.
And no, okay, so that's so important in like a society like Singapore.
Yeah.
Because we are just constantly moving, planning the next step. We are saying, okay, I got a next meeting to do, I got a next family gathering.
Yeah.
We don't have time to just stop.
Yeah.
Just to enjoy, just to be in the moment.
Yes.
To see things around us, which I thought was great, right? That you took away from it.
Yeah.
So was it weird when you decided, okay, I'm gonna be more present? Was it weird that
Yeah.
you sat there and just be like
I
touching?
I don't think it was a
At
conscious
first?
decision for me. I think
okay.
it was just like one of those things that just I started doing, like without realizing.
Right.
And that's when I realized that, I think I'm doing that. I think I'm being more present in the moment. I think I'm enjoying
Right.
being in the moment, being in the present moment. I never made that call in my head. Like, okay,
I'm
today I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna
I
start
just,
touching my shirt.
I just started doing it, and I realized, oh wow, this is nice. And then
I mean, okay, so you did mention just now, somewhere in the convo where you said, when we are trying out something new, right? For example, I think you said when we're trying something new, it's always weird. It always feels like it's not part of us, right? And that's okay.
yes,
That's exactly what you said.
that's fine. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Because, okay, so for example, if let's say I want to be able to slow down, okay, because for me, I'm not like you, it doesn't come that natural to me. My brain is just always on overdrive, and I think
Yeah.
it's something that many Singaporeans / people will
Yes.
know what I'm saying. So I need to physically say, okay, stop. Now listen, now see, now feel, you know, what's going on. And it's difficult for me at the start, yeah. And, you know, even though it is difficult at the start, the hope is that if you have a vision of where you want to be, you take small steps and you take that steps and you intentionally make it part of a routine.
Yes.
Hopefully it gets better.
Yes, of course it will. I mean,
Your body
anytime,
accepts it, right?
anytime that we introduce new routines or new behaviors or
Yeah.
new mindsets into our life, it always feels odd. It always feels weird. But it's not bad. It's just unfamiliar.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we just have to get comfortable with feeling unfamiliar. And I think that's a very scary thing. Like it's easier said than done, right? Especially for I think a lot of Singaporeans who just want to be comfortable and want to do
Yeah.
everything to be comfortable, and that's okay. You have to
That's the Singaporean way.
yeah, y'all gotta just understand that's okay. It's not your fault. It's like that's just the way the world is, right? But it doesn't mean that being something new or trying something new
Yeah.
is gonna be bad. There may be friction, it may be uncomfortable, but it doesn't mean it'll be that way forever.
And that's progress and growth. That's how growth feels like.
Exactly. Like nobody becomes something overnight, right? It takes years and years of doing one thing to become something. Right? So, and it's always uncomfortable at first, but eventually we get there. It's obviously more difficult for adults because we know once we've established who we are, it's very difficult to change. But children are very easy, right? Children, you can put the neuroplasticity in children is crazy. You can put a kid in any country and they'll learn that language if they are, you know what I mean? Like it's very easy for kids.
They don't carry baggage with them.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess one of the things is to be more childlike, I guess. I think that definitely helps.
Completely, I understand.
Because for children are not afraid to fail. You know, if they mess up something, if they create a mess or whatever, it's like, you know.
They don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. It's the adults who go, oh my God, why did you do that? You know, but for children, actually, it's okay. And we can do this. We can apply the same thing for all these things that we're trying, right? We're trying a new skill, learning a new behavior.
Yeah.
If we fail, if we mess up completely, it's okay. Laugh at it. Try again. You know, it doesn't matter.
Be it. Yeah,
so be it.
Okay, Andrew. So we talked about how change needs time, right? And I'm pretty sure you also understand that change is not direct. It's not linear. We can go backwards and we can go forwards, right? And so it's a bit like a game of snakes and ladders. But I think above all, even though we are beings who want to change, we want growth, we are always looking for something to improve on, I think it's always important that we slow down and then we ask ourselves, are we being patient with ourselves? You know, are we giving us enough time? Are we being kind to ourselves, not just to people around us, right?
Yeah.
And so how much of this pressure do you think Singaporeans give to ourselves? How much pressure people give to themselves to improve?
Oh, so much. I think in Singapore, the general mindset is it's such a high pressure environment. All of y'all need to chill. Everyone just needs to relax a little bit, you know? But then again, at the same time, I don't blame people. That's just the way it is here.
We're hardwired to be.
Yeah, there is so much pressure there's so much self-doubt, I think, and there's so much anxiety and the self-fulfilling prophecy of disaster. Some people just have that where they tell themselves, like you said, they tell themselves, I'm not good at this thing.
Yeah.
Or I am not this and I am not that. So many times Singaporeans will always have that, you know what I mean? Especially when the example crossing into the arts, like if you ask someone, oh, hey, you want to come watch a theatre show? And sometimes some people will be like, oh, I don't watch theatre. Or I just don't, but they've never actually seen
I've never
a
even
theatre
tried.
show. They've never
You're
actually tried.
already dismissing it before trying.
But in their mind, it's like they associate theatre with something. You know, it doesn't have to be anything good or bad, but it's just something. And that something is not who they are. So immediately that goes like, oh, theatre? No, that's not me.
Not gonna try.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all like gardening, not me. Random stuff. I don't terrarium making, not me. You know, some people are just like that. But if you live your whole life like that constantly, especially in Singapore, you end up so boxed in, and you feel eventually like a little sardine in a can that's been in a warehouse his whole life, her whole life.
I mean, you have to be more open-minded.
Yeah,
right.
Like I said, just be more childlike. Be more. Always try to be more like a child. I think that's.
I think the magic about children is that they're always curious.
Yeah,
they're not afraid to ask why.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to ask what's next.
Yes.
Why is this like that? Why is the sky blue? Stuff like that, right? Okay, so how do we find the balance then? The balance between the need for the societal pressure to improve and improve and improve, at the same time, just being kind to ourselves. Because I'm sure you go through that as an actor.
Yes, for sure.
Directors, the reviews of shows, you know. And at the same time, how do you strike that balance between, okay, fine, I need to improve, but look, I'm also human.
Yeah. I think you strike that balance eventually when you decide to be kind to yourself. And by deciding to be kind to yourself, you're telling yourself that it's okay. It's okay if you have a goal and if you meet it, and if you don't, it's fine. Life goes on. Nothing much monumentally is going to change from tiny little things. It's always, like I said, effort over a long period of time, right? Consistency, that's what happens. So it's about that. I think it's about focusing on the bigger picture, about zooming out and not being too hard on yourself. That's, of course, that's always easier said than done, especially for Singaporeans. But it takes practice and time. And I think we're all still trying to figure that out. And I think that's okay. And I think it's okay to constantly be figuring things out. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to figure it all out right? I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, what's the fun in that?
Can you imagine being a human being who just has everything, has got it all good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
everything
that's
in your
true.
life is
That's
exactly
true.
how you want it to be, and there is nothing you want
That's true.
ever. You know what I mean? Like that's not being alive. That's pretty
not
much
being human.
Yeah, that's not being human.
Yeah.
That's just something else. So yeah, you want a bit of dirt in your life. You want a bit of
Gonna get a
areas to
bit-
improve. Yeah, you want
Get
some
in the mud.
Yeah, you want to get a bit of mud.
Struggle a bit.
Yeah, that's very
yeah,
important.
no, honestly, I completely agree. That's all
Yeah.
part of the experience. Right?
But it's true, but right, because that's life. Like all the happiness is just the opposite of sadness, right? And you
Yeah.
need to feel both to experience life.
Yeah.
And we do experience life. We do feel both things all the time. You know, and not just sadness and happiness, but every other emotion that is on opposite ends of the scale. We
The
feel
whole
it all the
spectrum,
time.
right?
The whole spectrum of
spectrum,
emotions.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Andrew.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and with that, that's all the time we have for this episode of Headstart On Record. Thank you, Andrew, for joining me on this episode.
You're most welcome, and a big thank you to you guys for having me over. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
thank
And big
you,
thank you to my
everybody.
sweat patch, which has grown significantly over the past hour.
And the fan that has been assisting Andrew with his sweat the past hour.
That's right. Just constantly
Yeah.
trying to help me out.
So, once again, my name is Kai Wen, and you can slide into our DMs to suggest topics you'd like to see me tackle on the show. The links to ST's Headstart newsletter can be found in our podcast show notes. This episode is edited by Amirul Karim. Thanks for listening, and see you next month. Bye.
Bye. Side up says bye. Say bye.
Say bye.
Bye. See ya.